Hey y'all, welcome back to this week's episode of AMA Friday with Amy Miller, Recruiting in Yoga Pants. So this week we're going to dig into hiring for potential and attitude. Stuff like that. I'm going to try to remain calm. Not our first rodeo. We've talked about this before. I'll link to the previous video above where I kind of dug into this a bit. But there was a really interesting post on LinkedIn recently, which has inspired this week's video. So let's dig in, shall we? So this is specific to like entry-level retail. The story that was told, a gentleman who is a manager for a big box store relayed a story about interviewing a young man who had never had a job before. And this individual spent an hour or almost an hour with this young man, and they had a great conversation where they did not talk about anything job related. And what sealed the deal apparently, or was kind of the final like, yes, I'm going to hire this kid, was this young man shared an interesting little bit of trivia about penguins and polar bears. So let's discuss. I want to, first of all, I want to be really super crystal clear because I believe context is so important when we talk about things related to recruiting and hiring. I am not upset that an entry-level kid with no experience was hired. Not even a little bit. I have entry-level kids with no experience. I hope they get hired too. They have some experience now because they did get hired. But I'm just saying, I have children at that stage of life. And so I understand it. And I'm so grateful for the retail managers who took chances on my kids, who now got them happily employed and, saving money for college and so on. This is a good thing. Where it gets a little dicey for me, I wasn't even mad at the original post. I was like, okay, it's questionable, but I'm going to let it go because, it's retail, right? Not a big deal. Here's where it went sideways. My eye's twitching. I don't know if y'all can see that, but when I get like stressed or annoyed, like my eye just starts fluttering. It's twitching like mad right now. Okay. Here's where it went south for me. Another retail manager shared this post and added her own commentary. And she said, let's see exactly. I don't want to misquote anybody. I want y'all to know exactly what she said. This is how we should be interviewing and hiring. Spending an hour having a non-job related conversation and deciding to hire someone because they told you a funny story about penguins and polar bears is how we should be interviewing and hiring. Friends, I am willing to concede that entry-level, non-experienced roles should have an absolute minimum barrier to entry. Seriously. Are you eligible to work in the United States? Are you over 18 for certain roles? Can you stand for 8 hours? Can you lift up to 50 pounds? Like, aside from some of those qualifiers, which we see commonly in like retail kind of stuff, we absolutely should not make this difficult. We should be handing out these jobs to anybody and everybody that we can, who needs a leg up, who needs that first job, who needs to kickstart their career, whatever. When we start hiring on charisma and who I liked and who made me laugh, I worry. And it is fascinating to me that someone actually brought up neurodivergency in the comments and made the claim that, my friend commenting on, like the EEOC concerns here, and made a very well stated HR, kind of pushback, or little think about that someone would actually say, "Oh, are you talking about EEOC? What about neurodivergent people?" Exactly, babe. Exactly. Let's talk about that. Because let me tell you, as the mother of neurodivergent girls, and believe me, they came by it honestly, okay? They would not get hired based on being funny or based on actually worries me that there are hiring managers who believe that, because that means a couple of my kids are screwed. So what do we do instead? Again, we need to have a minimum barrier to entry here. We need to be willing to take chances on people. We need to be looking at all of those applicants. And yes, when you have a group of applicants, maybe you got 100 people that applied and you can only hire 10, I get it. You're going to have to make some tough decisions. So maybe is that when we start looking at the order people came in? Do we hire the first 10 that passed the interview process? Do we look for, previous retail experience? I don't know. I don't have all the answers, and thank God I don't do entry-level retail hiring, because I probably wouldn't be good at it based on this conversation. But what we can't do is, number one, hire people over other potentially well-qualified candidates because we liked them, and we absolutely, sorry Karen, absolutely cannot make a wide sweeping statement to the rest of LinkedIn that this is how we should interview and hire. Shut up. No, it's not. Come on, y'all. Again, if you want to put some qualifiers around it, and we should give entry-level kids a chance, and we shouldn't make getting hired at freaking, insert big box retailer here hard, I agree with you. I'm with you on that. But to expect someone to have, I don't know. I worry about that, because one of my, the kids I have at home still, one of them is super funny and charismatic and would nail that interview every time. The other one, not so much. Y'all are stressing me out. Okay? Anyway, all that to say, context is everything. This is not sustainable. And frankly, job seekers, this is what I want you to take away the most. Of everything I've said in the last 8 minutes, the thing I want you to take away the most is that good recruiters exist for a reason. And we often have to save hiring managers from themselves when they try to make these incredibly biased and inappropriate, if not illegal, decisions. Okay? You should get an opportunity because you were the right applicant who applied early in the process. Maybe, again, if we're dealing with volume, maybe we have to go, in the order received, and are qualified for the role, not because you made somebody laugh. Unless you're applying to be a comedian, maybe. That's probably need to make people laugh. But anyway. So please, job seekers, don't read these stupid ass posts on LinkedIn and worry about it. This does not apply to most of us, and thank God most people who are given the amazing opportunity to build teams know better. Maybe not Karen, not her real name. Anyway. Oh, in case you were curious, fun fact about penguins and polar bears. They've never met. They live on different poles. Who knew? Not me. Fun fact. Now hire me. All right, y'all. I hope that helps clear that up. Please don't stress about this, job seekers, if you're reading stuff like this and going, I gotta make them laugh too? No, you don't. We'll see you next week.